All right, let's get this going. GBB with me.
This type of beat gonna make you move. Pop you, like you feeling the groove. Flowing, that was all I got. Cause my beats are smooth and extra hot.
You got it? Extra hot. Switch.
Yo. I'm ice. Ice, but I spit fire. Fire.
All right, man. Yeah, a lot to say about this already. First off, I want to say that I have seen a lot of the GBB stuff already. If you guys been following me, you probably know that I watched half of this event live. I've watched the entire loop station category live already and the producer category. I've seen parts of crews. I haven't seen any of the tag teams, and I haven't actually seen any of the solo stuff, surprisingly, as well. So this will be my first time reacting to or seeing and reacting to the solo stuff. But I do know the results. I know who wins every single battle. Obviously, I've seen the thumbnails for the videos because the entire solo competition is uploaded now at this point. So I do know the results. So I'm not going to be watching the end because I'm going to be reacting to every single one of these battles in this video. So just for the time's sake, to save a little bit of time, I won't be watching the results and the winner of each battle here, because I already know who wins anyway. But yeah, this is my first time reacting to the battles in general. So with that out of the way, I want to say right off the bat, dude, coming into this competition, I was a little bit unsure of Remix. Although like watching his kind of evolution over the past like couple years, like he was kind of in that category of, you know, like spammy baseline kind of tech, if that makes sense. But now he kind of evolved himself. He still uses like a lot of his sound set that we're kind of used to hearing from him when he first kind of came into the scene, but he's kind of really evolved it in like with his structure and like his placements, and he makes like real tracks now rather than just like freestyle-esque kind of like sound design, if that makes sense. So Yeah. Although this round that he used here, I've heard so many times from him, evolved from the first time that he actually used it, but it is a very familiar track to me. But man, just hearing it live on GBB stage, like I can tell like the difference in just pure fucking power between him and Aboice there for sure. Yeah, really speaking like Napalm's language as well. You can kind of see the reactions from the judges there, a very like visceral facial reaction from Napalm at the end there, like absolutely mind blown because it's basically like his style, but I feel like it's leveled up in some regard, right? But yeah, Aboice on the other hand, man, like I've always said this about him. Like I really like his style. I think it's very unique and refreshing, but that only goes so far, right? Like I hear this version of Aboice now. It's only one round, and I know who wins this battle, but it doesn't really like stand out much from his performance in GBB 2023, right? I don't think there's truly like enough time for him to evolve from his kind of performance, like his breakout performance last year. It's giving like very similar vibes. Like obviously he passed the elimination phase here, but you know, making it into the battle, like you can only go so far with this similar kind of sound set, right? Like it's kind of weird for me to say that because Remix is very similar, but Remix has evolved in like the last couple of years. I mean, we haven't really seen that transition yet from Aboice. Like the first introduction to Aboice is pretty much what we see still today. So I still really like his style, but it's becoming a little bit stagnant right now. Like he needs to kind of like either create new sounds, new structures, and yeah, or yeah, that's basically it, right? Like he needs to kind of like expand on what he already does a little bit more than he has so far. Because it is Grand Beatbox Battle, right? It's the highest level, so yeah, like everyone has their own kind of sound sets and whatnot, and people like to stick to their kind of like, you know, their styles, but when it comes to competition, you kind of have to innovate a little bit, right? You have to kind of like break out of that mold if you really want like true success, right? So yeah, he is very successful, but it always worries me when I see people like him because they are so immensely talented, but they don't break out of their shell per se, if that makes sense. So yeah, I think he probably will. It's still very early for him in terms of like the general audience, like kind of point of view. But yeah, I thought Remix won the first round very easily. So anyway, I'm gonna try to keep the commentary down a lot. I know I was yapping like a fucking shit ton there, but I just had to get some stuff out of the way. So going forward here, I'll try to keep the commentary to the minimum. I'll just kind of like point at stuff that's pretty relevant at the time. So anyway, yeah, let's get back into the battle.
Okay. Gonna kill this bitch, got a lot to prove. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the groove. I was a prodigy, but now I'm a hero. Let me show them why every battle ends 5-0. Straight to the point like it's everybody. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, after the second round, it's kind of just like reinforces the point I was trying to make there. You know, Remix just felt more complete and more prepared in this battle, I feel. Like, Ice kind of came in with like the counter in the second round, which is like always pretty risky. Like, you kind of have to, if you're going to counter someone, it has to be in like has to be pretty accurate, I feel. Like, it was accurate, but at the same time, it really lacked the kind of power that Remix kind of brings to his kind of style. So, it fell a little bit flat, especially like towards like the end of it. Then it just went into like this lengthy kind of filler with like just like traditional tech and the percussion. Took a little bit of time to actually get to the point, and when he finally got to the point, it was just classic ABOIS, right? Like same kind of sound that he used in his first round. So this is that's like what I'm trying to get at. Like, I think ABOIS is immensely talented. Like, he still has one of the craziest fucking styles ever, but it's to the point now where it becomes a little bit too repetitive, I feel. So he needs to really like work on how he utilizes those sounds, I think. Come up with like some new stuff and like kind of like reform himself as a beatboxer, I think. Not trying to be like too harsh. Obviously, like, this guy like fucking can beatbox like fucking circles around me, right? Like, who the fuck am I to say that? But from like an outside perspective, like someone who's been watching this stuff a lot, especially battles, I can definitely notice his faults right now as a solo beatboxer. And I also said this last year too, like when in his GBB last year. So I'm not just like picking on him right now. Like, it was kind of like that last year as well, because by the time he got to the small finals last year, it was basically like the same stuff, right? And I watched him last year, and now it's almost identical in terms of like structure, sound design, and everything. So if he expands on what he does great already and adds like some new stuff, he'll be an absolute force. He's an absolute force right now, but that novelty is going to wear off very quickly, I think. In terms of battle, right? Like, you'll always be impressed with him like outside of battle, but you have to be critical in a battle, right? Like, you can't not be critical. Like, that's the whole point. So yeah, but anyway, Remix on the other hand fucking killed it. Another routine I've heard from him before, obviously, but his execution is just absolutely insane. Like, his evolution of like delivering his beats and his overall sound design and the way he structures his beats now, absolute insane. Like, I guess I should have expected it. Like, I did tentatively have him in my top 8 like coming into this event, but I was unsure like actually how successful he would be. But he has like no nerves. His execution is absolutely flawless, and yeah, his style is like perfect for the big stage. Like, for GBB, his style is exactly what you'd want, I think. Yeah, it really speaks to like everyone, like the audience, the judges, you know, just like his opponent. Like, this overall gritty battle kind of style is just so well suited for this. So yeah, anyway, Remix does win this battle. We're not going to watch the results because I already know it. But yeah, good stuff from ABOIS. Good try. But Remix felt a little bit more complete there, a little bit more prepared, and yeah, I think he won that battle pretty easily, in my opinion. So, all right, let's move on to the next battle.
Oh, shimmy, shimmy, yo, shimmy, yeah. Это понты, это понты. Oh, sorry. Something. It is your. It is your. Sorry, you're not an urgent.
Helium. I'm slipping, I'm bleeding, I'm falling way below the line. I'm slipping, I'm bleeding, I'm falling way below the line. Slipping, I'm bleeding, falling way below the line. Slipping, I'm bleeding, I'm falling way below the line. Slipping, I'm bleeding, falling way below the line. Slipping, I'm bleeding, I'm falling way below the line.
All right. Helium, a veteran of the GBB. Really excited to see him actually get through here. I didn't actually predict that he'd make it through the top 8. I thought he'd maybe like fall 9th or 10th just because of the level of beatboxers that were actually here at this event compared to others. But I guess unsurprisingly, he made it through. He's an absolute fucking goat of the beatbox scene. His approach here for the first round, I respected a lot. I think like his kind of bass is the video does not give his bass justice. It hits way harder live. Like I can tell that. Right away. Like we've seen that in 2021, right, in his battle against Inertia. Yeah, it's unfortunate. That's just like a natural kind of thing. It's hard to replicate certain sounds when you go from live to video. So, with that being said, though, I felt like his kind of approach to like what he went for in that first round was a little bit too long, I think. Yeah, for like a first round of the GBB, like I guess it's okay, but you are in the top 8 for the most prestigious event, so I feel like it's okay to do something like that, but just like shorten it down and maybe move on, like right, like a little bit faster. But he kind of went into it, then it just like finished the round with his like bass line, different variations of percussion underlying it. So yeah. So against someone like OSIS, man, who's like very technical, very battle oriented, I feel like you can't come in lacking, like quote unquote lacking. Like it was very clean what Helium done, but like OSIS is gonna come in here for your throat like immediately, and that's exactly what he did, right? He took advantage of like the slow start from Helium and just kind of like put the pedal to the metal and never let go. So Helium, I think like overall you can objectively say that Helium's kind of like tech and his drums were cleaner because like it's impossible. There's very few people who can match like the cleanliness of Helium. But OSIS, man, his technicality's on a whole other level in that first round. Like his filler, OSIS has some of the craziest filler I think I've ever heard. Like ever. It's so satisfying to listen to. Hopefully it doesn't become too repetitive for me because I know that he makes it very far in the solos here. So, but yeah, I think OSIS won that first round for sure. Also, I enjoyed the little the callback to one of Osis's rounds there. Helium, you know, giving him the money. I can't remember where that's from. It might be from German. The German competition, maybe. I don't know. Can't remember. It's pretty recently, last year sometime. But or maybe it was his wild card for this. Yeah, maybe it was his wild card for this. I think, but. Yeah, anyway, going to keep the commentary to a minimum, so yeah, OSIS won the first round.
DJ Олег! белый карандаш.
I said stop. Push too hard and turn around. Skip the beat and feel the sound. You can't hold me down. Stop. I feel the heat in all your dreams. All is not like what it seems. You can't hold me down. Stop. You can't hold me down. You can't hold me. Just feel it, there's no limit. Bust out ceilings and you can't turn it around. Just feel it, there's no limit. Bust out ceilings, you can't turn it around. You can't turn it. You can't turn it around.
All right. Second round's a lot closer for me, I think. Still very traditional Helium, like not too much different from what I've seen here. Like sound design pretty much identical. I feel like Helium's biggest strength was always his percussion anyway, and he just kind of utilized that very well here in the second round, I think. Yeah, just a lot more clean, more well structured than OSIS's round here. But damn, man, like OSIS is kind of like cutthroat style is still so sick to listen to. Like his filler again, bro, is just so insane. It's not like the cleanest thing ever, like in comparison to like someone like Helium, who like thrives on cleanliness. It's still so fucking enjoyable to listen to. So I think like in a battle perspective, OSIS absolutely dominated, I think. Second rounds were a lot closer though. I'd actually probably give the second round very narrowly to Helium, if I'm being like super critical. But I think in terms of enjoyment of listening, I still liked OSIS's more, simply because I've heard Helium so many times over the years. OSIS to me is still very fresh and satisfying to listen to. So he hasn't gotten to that like repetitive territory yet, which I really hope he doesn't. He might not, but who knows. Although he did start like I noticed this a lot from OSIS. He always starts his rounds the exact same way. Some like grungy lyrics that lead immediately into this crazy technical kind of percussion heavy drop with bass, I guess. Yeah. But anyway, still super satisfying to listen to. So OSIS does win this battle. Yeah. Crazy stuff from Helium. We have Helium, an absolute veteran, getting knocked out in the first round. I'm okay with that. I thought that OSIS won the battle anyway, so yeah. Anyway, let's move on to the next battle.
Yo, sweet. This is KAJI from Japan. Jump your like that. drop it like
Ooh, that kick. Yo. What? That's fucking crazy. Ah, man. That's tough first round, bro. The cleanliness and just the structure of Wing is so satisfying. Like, he's one of my favorite beatboxers, man. Like, that approach for that round is so simplistic, but yet so effective, you know? He's just like genius, man. Like, some people would probably look at that and be like, oh, you know, very slow, like maybe a little too repetitive, but I don't know, man. Just like the way he introduces, brings in like the new sounds. Like that kick variation, bro. I think it was a kick, or was it a snare? Let me check. Oh, it was a snare. Okay. It was a snare. It sounded like a kick. Like the kind of lows that he put on that snare sounded a lot like a kick. But yeah, very effective. I love that kind of sound design for sure. KAJI on the other hand, man, just classic KAJI, you know, like very chaotic in terms of his style. I like the way that he opened the round. I thought it was very reminiscent of like stuff that Wing does. You know, like I'm KAJI from Japan. I feel like I heard Wing do like I'm Wing from Korea, like South Korea. Very reminiscent of like his kind of like style. But yeah, like when you compare certain things, like Wing's structure there was just far superior. I think like the cleanliness was far superior. That's it. But I feel like KAJI really excelled in the battle category, I think. Wing kind of took this one idea, ran with it, and slowly evolved it over time. KAJI kind of had that at the first start, then just went full chaos in the second half, which is like what I really like about him. So close first round, but I think I would give it to Wing. I thought Wings was definitely more enjoyable to listen to. But yeah, let's move on to the second rounds.
switch. Yo, Wing, why you too chill? Are you ready? Bass practice. Are you ready? Ready? Okay, it's time to bounce. In my pocket. In my pocket. In my pocket. In my pocket. There is something in my pocket. In my pocket. In my pocket. In my pocket. Pocket. 아, 난 집안마다 치게 땡글 치게 다니모. I don't give a shit. I don't give a. Package. 아, 난 집안마다 치게 땡글 치게 다니죠. Break it down.
Okay, that's tough, man. Yeah, Kaji, man, just the dude just like wears his heart on his sleeve, you know, like he just doesn't give a fuck. He has a certain kind of style, and he just sticks with it. Yeah, I think like from a casual beatbox perspective, I feel like it would be a lot harder to fuck with and get into Kaji's kind of style in comparison to Wing. Like Wing's kind of style is very normie friendly, if that makes sense, right? Like it's very easy to follow. You can always like groove with it because like the cleanliness and like the bounce of it. You know, it's very like plays out a lot more like traditional kind of music, if that makes sense, right? Like he constructs and you know, creates his tracks very similar to produced kind of music, like almost traditionally. Like that's, if you go back and watch everything he does, it's kind of like that, right? Kaji on the other hand is pure energy, like pure chaos, 1 billion sounds in one round, right? So I think like a lot of people wouldn't really like a normal, like people are like not super into beatbox would look at that and be like, man, like what the fuck is this, right? But like this is predominantly like the crowd is predominantly like a beatbox fandom, right? So they're used to this stuff because they understand it, right? Like when I say that, it's not like it, like you hear it and like it doesn't make sense, right? Like it's still very much music in its own. It's just a very different kind of medium in the same like sphere, if that makes sense. So like it's a kind of style that you really have to like grow accustomed to by repetition of listening to a lot of beatbox, right? So for me, I think that Kaji absolutely fucking dominated the battle side of this. Like he actually battled. Wing kind of did, but at the same time he kind of took it at his own pace. I think like he tried to surgically beat Kaji with structure and cleanliness, while Kaji just put it all out on the line and just fucking whipped it out on the floor, you know, if that makes sense, right? He just fucking went in for it, man. And I think it paid off. I would personally still give this to Wing, but Kaji does win the battle, and I understand why. Like, he just had the aura, I think. He definitely wasn't as clean, as well structured. That goes without saying. But he had that charm to him, and he actually battled to like the full potential, if that makes sense, right? So I also like the kind of stuff that he did in the second round, especially like very what's the word, ambitious in terms of like sound design. I think like a lot of stuff that he did there probably wouldn't traditionally work out, but he fucking did it anyway, and he made it work. So there's just the chaos in him and just absolutely prevailed here. So I would give it to Wing very slightly, but I understand why Kaji won the battle. So yeah, let's move on to the next battle.
They're doing the crowd. Trois. Choice for the flow.
Calm down, bro. It's not good for you. You've been to the doctor this morning. Let's go.
All right. Tough. I think the biggest difference here from JULARD and ALEXINHO here, which might also be the case with every single other person in the future after this battle, is that JULARD's power is so much more impactful and significant than ALEXINHO's. Just the way, especially he delivers his kicks, is, dude, like, probably the most powerful kick that I've heard from anyone. This is just judging based on the eliminations that I watched earlier. Like, JULARD was probably the most powerful by a significant margin, even more so than Remix, who was very bass heavy, which is kind of crazy to think about, right? Like, how do you get that much power and percussion when in comparison to someone who's very bass prominent? That's a hard thing to do, I think. So, and also, like, his new school tech does it a lot of favors as well, I think. So I think that was an absolute I think that was a pretty easy first round win for JULARD, honestly. I felt like ALEXINHO's kind of approach there, I enjoyed it, but it was a little bit too repetitive for me. I thought it took a little bit too long to get to the point. The switch up probably happened at around like 25 seconds left in the round, which at that point in time, you're listening to something for 60 seconds and it doesn't really evolve and it kind of remains stagnant for that long. It's not a very good thing, especially for a battle where you only have 90 seconds, right, to do something. So, yeah, I'd give that first round to JULARD for sure. nice try, Alexinho, but I feel like JULARD just absolutely destroyed him. Yeah, there's not really much I've seen there from Alexinho that kind of like separates himself from 2017. I actually saw Alexinho live in 2017. I felt like, odd to say, I felt like he was actually like the way that, okay, so his style is very similar. I will say that. I think like the strength of Alexinho is that he's able to kind of take his style, make it like in a trolly nature and put it against his opponent. I don't know how to word that correctly, but like his style is very like the way that he battles, I guess is what I'm trying to say, is very trolly, and like the beats that he does really complement that. But I didn't see much of that here. I felt like he just kind of took a very like a true approach to it, but it just felt like very dated, if that makes sense. Like it felt like 2017 Alexinho, like that I saw. But even back then, like he took that approach, but he put his more of his spin on it, like his trolley spin in a battle kind of style against the opponent. Like think back against someone like when he battled 2H in 2017, right? Like the follow the tennis ball thing. Then he mimicked his like double voice sound. He didn't really do much of that with JULARD here, which I think is like one of Alexinho's biggest strengths in a battle, right? Because at that point in time, you're just kind of like taking your raw beatbox and putting it up against your opponent, right? So in this case, JULARD was far more powerful, far more technically heavy, I think. Well, far more technical rather. Like Alexinho's technical too, in a sense, but like the execution and structure of JULARD's was more significant, I think, in this battle. Yeah, Alexinho just kind of felt a little dated, I guess is like the appropriate word, if that makes sense. But and even like when I remember watching the elims, I felt like he didn't really do much for me personally to get through the top 8. So it is what it is. And also like taking into account that live is always different than in video. So maybe Alexinho sounded a lot better live here. But I can tell live and on video, JULARD is an absolute fucking beast. So he won that battle pretty effortlessly for me, I think. But yeah, good stuff from Alexinho. Absolute veteran, kind of like HELIUM. He's been here, done that. And also he has a big win in a future event here. So like he's still you know, I think he won that. Or was that last year? Maybe he won last year. I think I'm tripping. But yeah. Anyway, JULARD wins here. Is there a overtime here? I don't think so. Just a long outro. Yeah, just a long outro. But yeah, JULARD wins this for me. Absolutely crazy. Insane power from this guy. Won the under 18 the year previously, so to kind of come in here and win the first battle, pretty impressive. So all right, let's move on to the next battle.
3.
Butterfly dome, face scoop look like a UFO. Choking on dome, call me remix cause my bass real low. Pound of foul, baby mama with my pot on the stove. Ain't no joke, you the type of brother go cry to a hoe. Butterfly dome. Precision antidote, you cannot penetrate the smoke. Smoke, 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 smoke. Smoke, 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 smoke. Smoke, 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 smoke. Smoke, smoke, smoke.
Yeah, this is a good battle. This is like a good matchup, I feel like. You look at both of these guys, like they have very similar kind of styles. Like even the way that they structure their beats. Just like, you know, I mentioned earlier, like OSIS always begins his routines with like a grungy like a grungy lyric overlay, then immediately drops into like this very technical heavy like drop with bass, right? And Remix is almost the same thing. Remix is like almost does the same thing. It's kind of crazy. So these guys like matchup wise are like very similar. So it has the recipe to make a very good battle. So yeah, another routine that I've heard from Remix before. I feel like that's probably going to be the case for his entire set here at this event, which is fine. I watch a lot of Remix, so like I'm very familiar with him. So yeah, I'm not really too satisfied with that. This is his first GBB for one. So yeah, yeah, very slower, like very similar sounds and stuff from Remix. Just like a slower tempo. Really fleshed out, more fleshed out than his previous two rounds, I would say, even though like sound design wise it was very similar, right? Yeah, OSIS on the other hand, you know, classic OSIS again. So both of these guys kind of coming in a very familiar territory as their elimination and their first battles respectively. So that's too close for me to really pick a winner there. I thought they both had good moments in there for sure. So yeah, I think it's like a 50-50. This is going to be determined for me by the second round.
You ready? Down. Let me show him how to do it. Down to the drum. Down. Get down. Get down.
Switch!
Push and pull until I break. All they hear is my mistake. You cannot confuse my pain. Such an the acid rain. Dancing in the acid rain. Dancing in the acid rain.
Yeah, that's tough, man. Yeah, so OSIS wins this battle. That's tough. That's a close battle for me, honestly. I feel like this one needs overtime. If it was up to me, I felt like, honestly, if I had to choose, I'd actually probably choose Remix. I felt like I liked the second round a little bit more than OSIS, but it's still too close for me. I think this one needs an overtime for sure. I don't think they do overtimes anymore for this event. This has to be close, right? Let's see. Okay, well, 4-1 for OSIS. I mean, yeah, it doesn't really like say too much, I think, but yeah, that one's like super close for me. I felt like, I don't know. I have to watch this one again, honestly. Maybe I'll have a different opinion a second time. If it were up to me, like if I had to choose, I probably would have chose Remix, but it's way too close. So either one of them, it's okay with me. Like I'm fine with either of them winning. I just felt, yeah, I don't know what I felt. I had to watch that one again. That's just one of those battles where I'm kind of like, I can't really like formulate a full opinion on the first listen. But I will say, you know, pretty classic approach from both these guys. You know, kind of sticking to their vein of beatboxing, if that makes sense. Another routine that I've heard from Remix again. But yeah, that second half of Remix's second round, so sick. I think he'd use the double voice a little bit in his elimination, but just the way that he utilized it here, so effective, bro. Yeah, man, like he's built for this fucking competition, man. Like this caliber competition. Yeah, Remix has the perfect style for it. And, you know, OSIS on the other hand, classic OSIS again. Some of the best fill in the scene. No different here in this routine. So, yeah, close battle, man. Yeah, I need to see an overtime for that one, for sure. But, yeah, OSIS ends up winning, so let's move on to the next battle.
I'm the only one on stage. In front of me, you're a joke, we all know it. Joke. Watch me just hold the stage. Just with the suit that I knew when I moved it. suit out of you in the mood. With the jazz, with the jazz, with the jazz, just with the jazz, with the jazz, with the jazz, just with the jazz, just with the jazz, just with the suit out at you in the mood.
Whoa, what was that sound, bro? It was like a laser whistle, like bird call or some shit, like a laser bird call. Fuck, man. That's crazy. Dude, JULARD, man. Like, how are you that powerful, bro? Like, every singular sound this dude does is like a fucking bazooka. It's fucking nuts. Like, every single sound. Somehow, like, it sounds like he has bass on his fucking snares. It's crazy. I guess it's just a variation of snare that he uses, honestly. But yeah, it's like absolutely insane. That dude is so refreshing to listen to. It's just pure power, man. Like, yeah, it's like it's hard to not enjoy that if you really love beatbox, right? Especially in competition in a battle. Like that's the kind of style that I love. When you have that much power in your routines, it's just so effective. I can't imagine how good that sounded live. Like on video, you can hear it. Live is probably just a whole other level, right? So, you know, KAJI on the other hand, fucking absolute giga chat of chaos. He does it every single time. I felt like the end, like the last 20 seconds for me, kind of fell flat from KAJI. Unfortunately, I'd give the first round to JULARD very slightly close, but I give the first round to JULARD for sure. But yeah, it's not like a runaway victory right now for JULARD by any means. I don't think like KAJI needs to come in with something like super crazy to make up for the first round. It was still pretty close for me. So yeah, let's just get right into the second round.
Switch! And that's time. Switch!
Yo, you seems to be very chill. shot. Go. Low. With the tremble finger. Shot. Go. Low. With the tremble.
But that second round was the determining factor for sure. Like, for sure. That counter from JULARD, bro. Like, yeah. Like, you can't beat that, man. Just like the similarity was very like the counter was, it sounded a lot like KAJI, right? Like, obviously that's the whole point of a counter, but sometimes when people do counters, they can't really replicate it good enough and it falls flat and it just doesn't work. You see that just as much as the opposite, right? In this case, it worked very well just because of how similar it was. And the power that was added on top of it, it's somehow even more powerful than KAJI does it. That's insane. So, yeah, just from the beginning, I knew. Like, going into the second rounds, I thought it was very close. But JULARD's counter at the start of his round immediately, like, sprung him way in the lead for me, I think. It put KAJI in a position where he had to, like, come in with his best round, I think. But yeah, man, JULARD is a fucking beast, bro. Like, that's insane. For a lot of people, like, he's not very, like, I guess after this event and last year, like, he's more in the public eye, but I feel like still a lot of people aren't, like, too overly familiar with him until this event, maybe. So, like, even me, like, for the most part, like, I knew who he was. I just didn't hear a lot of him until last year. So yeah, he's really kind of catapulted into the elite tier of beatboxing, I think. So yeah, KAJI on the other hand here kind of, for me, fell a little flat, I think, first second round. Almost an identical approach to his first round. Just having trouble, I think, in this battle, especially having trouble evolving his routines, I think. It starts off very high, then kind of, in terms of energy and evolution of the routine, starts to go downward in a downward trend, which is not something you'd want. You'd always kind of want to have that trajectory in a routine, or at the very minimum, like, consistent throughout, right? So I felt like his trajectory was kind of a little bit, it was dipping in the end of his routines. So yeah, really, like, still very energetic, still very confident. Also, obviously, very clearly has the crowd to his advantage, being the only Japanese beatboxer, right, in the top 8. So, and also a member of Seirokani, and probably one of the most beloved and famous beatboxers in Japan at the moment. So, but with that being said, I thought that JULARD absolutely dominated him in the second round. First rounds are close, but the second round was the determining factor, and JULARD does end up winning this battle. So, yeah, sick stuff. So let's get into the next battle.
You ready? Yeah. Put your hands. I'm the king of the brain. I'm the king of the brains.
Yo, big shout to Peanuts kun.
Get up, fucking 달아 내 씹어 의대 그 불법 squeeze Get up, fucking 달아 내 나글 리가 너 지금 불법 squeeze Get up, fucking 불러버리게 Get up, fucking 불러버리게 Get up, fucking dollar money. Get up, fucking dollar money. Get up, get out to the. Get out. Get up, fucking. Yeah.
One of the coolest zippers I've ever heard, bro. Man, might just be like the sound mixer, but that sounded like really sick. But yeah, this is a rematch actually from their Beatland where KAJI actually beat Remix. That was what, at the end of 2023, roughly, like November 2023, I think. So yeah, a year later they're battling again on the biggest stage of all. So for third place. I enjoyed both the rounds a lot. I think I always enjoy hearing Remix, man. His evolution is just fucking sick. So crazy, man. All like the same sound design, just leveled up significantly in terms of his implementation and structure, right? He gets a little creative with it too. So yeah, fuck, man, so sick. Remix's spit snare is just something he didn't really utilize too much in the past. Really became a prominent part of his percussion, I think, in the recent years. So I like his I think his spit snare sounds so good. Yeah, not really sure what that track was that KAJI said at the start there. I don't really know the reference. Maybe something from Japan. Kind of took away a little bit of the energy, but at the same time really made up for it in the drop. In like the last 10 seconds of his routine was great in my opinion. So I give the first round though to Remix. I thought it was a more complete track, I think. Just in terms of enjoyment of listening as well, I enjoyed Remixes a little bit more. So first round for me definitely goes to Remix.
Switch! I tries to find you realize you're in a nightmare. Welcome to your nightmare.
You're in a nightmare.
Switch!
Fuck that shit.
No sleep.
That nation becomes fluid. Flows into the nose.
Let's blow this. Repair the bass, 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 repair. No split. No split.
All right. Yeah. So Remix wins the battle, and I also think that he won for sure. I felt like watching this now that we're in the small finals. We still have the finals left, but I feel like Remix so far has shown me that he is the most prepared. I feel, because looking back at everyone else that went, this is 6 rounds deep, and Remix still sounds like he had 6 full routines prepared for this. You know what I mean? KAJI, on the other hand, man, just chaotic kind of style. Maybe a bad comparison, because that's who KAJI is. But even everyone else, like, you listen to everyone else, elements of their routines feel a little bit like freestyle-esque, if that makes sense. Remix, every track that he's done sounds like an actual, like, fleshed out track, which is the case because 5 out of the 6 routines that he used here I've heard before and is already, like, available in different variations on his channel, right, and previous events. So yeah, he took a lot of time to just, like, fully flesh out and prepare, like, routines, like actual tracks. Not saying like everyone else didn't do that. That other people did definitely have similar approach, but just like the execution wise, Remix felt like more complete to me than like anyone else. Yeah, then KAJI again, chaotic kind of style. I feel like at this point though, like 6 rounds deep for KAJI, it's beginning to become like a little bit too repetitive. Like you can probably say the same for Remix, but at least like his felt and sounded more structurally clean. Once you get repetitive and also you don't sound like overly clean, it becomes a little bit too much, I think. So but yeah, you know, KAJI's a fucking beast, like made it to top 4 and in the world, which is like insane, right? So definitely no like big punch down to him at all. Just that in this battle, Remix was definitely superior to me in almost every aspect. So but yeah, super sick battle from these guys. You know, Remix coming in, getting the revenge. They're now 1-1. I don't know if they battled in online, but live events, they're 1-1 right now. So yeah, who knows? Maybe we'll get a 3rd battle from these guys in the future. But yeah, deservedly winning here is Remix. So all right, let's move on to the finals.
Ba 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 ba. Sing. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Said fuck the French on the stage. All this fucker has his bass. Said fuck the French on the stage. All this fucker has his bass. Said fuck the French on the stage. All this fucker has his bass. French on the stage. All this fucker has his bass. Said fuck the.
Easy, bro. What?
Fuck the. said fuck the French.
Switch. Yeah, it's easy.
Damn, bro. That's close. Yeah, dude, I feel like JULARD is doing right now what I wish ALEXINHO did in his battle against JULARD, you know? So I kind of like mentioned that earlier. Yeah, just his kind of trolly approach and his counters are just so spot on. It just so effective and it works so well. But yeah, I like both these guys' rounds a lot. Dude, JULARD is just like such a surprise to me, man. Like his power and like his execution is just insane. Like I never expected that at all. I didn't have JULARD in my top 8 coming into this competition. And like what I heard from him in like last year was like it was good. It was definitely good, but like he's kind of like excelled significantly since then. And like he's so young. I think he's like 18 too. So it's fucking crazy, man. Then you know, OSIS's approach there. I enjoyed that a lot. Fuck the French, you know. Like French has a history of like winning these competitions a lot. They've won so many times. So then yeah, again, OSIS's Phil, bro, like so insane, so good. Very close first round. I think if I had to choose, I'd actually still give this a little bit to JULARD. He's just that good. So yeah, let's check out the next rounds.
Switch! Give me some substance, yeah? Conceal it. If you can't have it, you should steal it. Conceal it. Gun you down while you are sleeping. Hey. Shoot you for the shoot you for the shout out to Frosty. Get up, meet up. Smash up, bang up. Put your hands up. Get some clean up. All you have to do is move. Make the come back.
And that's time!
Okay, yeah, that's a close battle. That might be the second one. Yeah, that might be the second battle where I think it needs an overtime. I thought that OSIS won the second round. I thought that JULARD kind of started off a little too slow, I think. It took around like 30 seconds to get to the point. I wasn't like unenjoyable by any means. It was still like, you know, executed well. It was just like the energy from OSIS going into JULARD there was a little bit lower, which is kind of weird because I felt like JULARD was probably the most powerful out of everyone in this competition. It's odd that he chose like a more slower approach for his final round. So took away a little bit of the energy, but as the round progressed, it evolved pretty nicely and ended very strong. So, but I felt like OSIS's second round was pretty consistent from start to finish. I'd slightly give the second round to OSIS, and I slightly gave the first round to JULARD. So that's a pretty close battle to me. I think that could use an overtime. But if I did have to choose, I probably would go with JULARD, I think. Excelled in certain areas that are more important to me, I think. Power definitely being one of them. Battle, they're kind of similar. Yeah, I think maybe like battle-wise, OSIS slightly ahead. Yeah, actually, I don't know now. This is too close. This is too close. Yeah, that one deserves an overtime, but JULARD does end up winning, which is kind of crazy because he won under 18 the year before, and now he comes and wins the big boy event, right? So he's formidable, man. If people didn't know who he was, they definitely know now. I'd assume, right? At least people who follow the scene as closely as me. But yeah. All right, that's a pretty good solo event, I think. Yeah, I can't really complain much about that. I really wish that Improver didn't have to drop out, though. I really feel strongly that Improver would have made it to the finals. He just has that the it factor right now. He's still very fresh, and his evolution over the last couple of years has been insanely impressive. So, unfortunately, we didn't get to see him in solo or tag team, but hopefully he comes back next year and just destroys the stage. But yeah, congrats to JULARD, man. Fucking absolute beast. Now actually like watching him make his way through to the finals, absolutely deservingly won, I think. The finals for me could have used an overtime, but I'm okay with him winning. That if I had to choose, I would pick him as well, but it was pretty close for me. But anyway, if you guys enjoyed what you heard here, links in the description to the original videos. Go check them out. Go leave them a like. Go leave a sub to Swiss Beatbox as well. If you want to support me, go leave a like on this video. You can sub to my channel. Check out my Discord channel as well. Links in the description to that. And other than that, I'll see you guys in the next Beatbox reaction video.